Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to make a baby girl dress, and this is going to fit up to 3-month-old baby. So we're going to use this yarn, Craft Smart, and we're going to use the color Amethyst. And I'm also going to use some Red Heart Super Savior yarn. This is called Pretty in Pink, but I don't have the label for it. And so to start, we're going to use our 4mm crochet hook. And to begin, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our purple yarn and we're going to attach it with a slip knot on the hook, and we're going to make a chain of 66. So I'm just going to make this chain here, and then once that is completed, I'll meet back up with you guys to show you what we're going to do next. So now here I have my chain of 66. So now what you're going to do is you're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. There we're just adding that 66 chain. So I'm just going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in each stitch all the way down. So we're going to continue doing that until we make it to the end, and then I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do once that is completed. Okay, so here I have completed that first row, and now at the end of it, what we're going to do is we're going to chain one and turn our work. That chain one does not count as a stitch, so we're going to place our first single crochet in that same stitch where the chain one is coming from, and then we're going to single crochet in each stitch all the way to the end. And this is the pattern we're going to repeat for the next 20 rows. Okay guys, so here we've completed our 20 rows of single crochet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to join to the first single crochet that we made in the beginning with a slip stitch. So I'm just going to attach here with a slip stitch here. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to switch the hook sizes. So we're going to start working with the size 4 hook, and we're going to work with a size 5mm crochet hook to work on the skirt part of the dress. I'm just going to attach my new hook in there, and then we're going to make a chain of 4, and that chain of 4 counts as 1 double crochet and a chain 1. Then what we're going to do is we're going to skip 1. So instead of going into that next one, we're going to double crochet in the next one, chain 1, and then skip 1 and double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1 and double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to repeat this all the way around. I'm just going to continue showing it for a little bit more, and then I'm going to meet back with you guys once we have completed that round. Okay guys, so we've come to the end of that round, and this is what we have so far. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a chain of 1 and then slip stitch into the third chain up from that first chain that we made in the beginning. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 4 again. Remember, this counts as 1 double crochet and a chain 1. And then in the next double crochet, we're going to make an increase, which is a double crochet, a chain 2, and then another double crochet all into the same space or same stitch. I made a mistake there, so I'm just going to go back, finish the 2 chains, and then go back into the same double crochet and then double crochet again. Next, we're going to chain 1 and double crochet in the next double crochet. Chain 1 again, and then we're going to make an increase in the next stitch, which is a double crochet, a chain 2, and then another double crochet all in the same stitch. So we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So we have chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 1, increase in the next stitch, and we're going to repeat this all the way to the end of the round. And I'm going to continue this and meet back with you guys once we've completed this. Okay guys, so we've made it to the end of that second round with our increases. Remember, we had 1 double crochet, and then we had our increases every other stitch. So coming to the end of this round now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to make a chain of 1, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the third chain that we would have made from the beginning of the round. Next, what I'm going to do for this next round is just to increase the amount of fleur we have in the dress. I'm going to repeat that round that we did before. So make a chain 4, double crochet in the next stitch, then chain 1, and then I'm going to increase in the next stitch like we did previously, which is a double crochet, chain 2, and another double crochet all in the same stitch. This round is just to increase the amount of fleur that we have in the dress. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I wanted to, so I'm just going to go with that for the dress. So we're placing our second double crochet there and there to make our increase. We're going to chain 1, 1 double crochet in the next, chain 1, and then we're going to place another increase in the next stitch following that. And that's the pattern we're going to repeat all the way around until we make it to the end. So repeat this all the way to the end, and we'll meet back up once we've have that completed. Okay guys, so we've made it to the end of that round. So here I have made my last increase. I'm going to make a chain of 1 and slip stitch into the third chain from the previous chain that we made in the beginning. So now we're going to make a chain of 4 for this next round, and we're going to just double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1 and double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1 and double crochet in the next stitch. So for this round, and this is going to be the repeat pattern for the rest of the dress, is we're just going to make a double crochet, chain 1 and another double crochet in the next stitch all the way around. So I'm going out of camera here, but we're just going to repeat doing that all the way around until we make it to the end. So there's no more increases. You're just placing a double crochet in each stitch, and in between each double crochet you're making a chain 1. So repeat that all the way to the end, and then I'll meet back with you guys once we have that completed. And what we want to do, guys, is we're going to do a total of 12 rounds with no increases. So I'm going to do that and be back with you guys once that is completed. Okay guys, so here we have completed our 12 rounds of no increases. So in total for the skirt portion, we would have made 15 rounds for the skirt, but the rounds with no increases, we made 12 rounds for that. You can make the dress longer if you prefer, but this is what I'm going to work with for this pattern. So now what I'm going to do to complete the skirt portion of the dress is I'm going to do one final round of only single crochet stitches. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip my work, and I'm going to place a single crochet in each stitch and in each chain 1 space made. So I'm going to chain 1 here, and I'm going to single crochet in that same space, and then single crochet in that chain 1 space, and single crochet in the double crochet, and just continue that all the way around and slip stitch to join to complete. And I'm going to continue doing that, and then I'll be back with you guys once we have that completed. Okay guys, so here we have the round of single crochet completed, and that completes the skirt portion of our dress. So here I already have made my slip stitch, so I'm just going to grab my scissors and tie off. And then once we have that completed, what we're going to do next is we're going to work on the straps for the dress. Okay guys, so we're gonna grab back our 4mm crochet hook to work on the top portion or the straps of the dress. So we're gonna attach our main color again, our purple yarn, onto this hook. And what we're going to do is we're gonna just place one round of single crochet all the way around. So I'm gonna attach with a single crochet here and work one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And then once that is completed, I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do next. Okay guys, so this is what we have so far. I went ahead and did a single crochet in each stitch all the way around, and then I just tied off at the end there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the strap portion of the dress. So what I have here is I placed some stitch markers in the stitches. So what I did is I counted from that corner stitch and I counted 10 stitches up, and then I placed a stitch marker. Well, here I use a common pin, but that's my stitch marker. So I placed a stitch marker in that 10 stitch up from the corner stitch, and I did the same thing on the opposite side. So I am out of frame here to show you on the opposite side, but that's exactly what I did in order to work the straps for the dress. So next what we're going to do is we are going to take our yarn and we're going to start working on the straps in these stitch marked stitches. So I'm going to insert into that marked stitch here on this side, and I'm going to attach with a single crochet, and that's my first single crochet, and then I'm going to work another single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. So in total we have 6 single crochets. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and then single crochet in the same stitch because that chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, and then single crochet in each stitch to the end, and I'm going to repeat this pattern until we have a total of 26 rounds. So I'm going to do that and then show you guys what it looks like once completed. Okay guys, so here this is what we have so far. I went ahead and I completed my 26 rows of single crochet. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to attach it onto the opposite side of the dress, and there's no right or wrong with this. We're just going to tie off here and leave a fairly long tail for sewing it onto the opposite side of the dress, and we would have completed our strap. So I'm just here lining it up to make sure it's as even as possible. I'm just eyeballing it, and then I'm going to sew that on with my tapestry needle. And then once that is finished, what we're going to do is we're going to repeat the exact same thing we did for the first strap on the opposite side. So I'm just going to show you guys how I sew it on, and then I'm going to go off camera and work on the second strap, and then come back and show you guys what it looks like once that is completed. So here how I attached it is I just worked through the back loop of my stitches and went through the back loop of the stitches on the actual dress as well. So I went through the back loops on both the stitches on the strap and then the stitches on the top part of the dress. So I'm just showing you here that is what I am doing, and that's how I attach it. You guys could work through both loops, or you could even, I guess you could have even sewed it on with single crochet if you wanted, but this is just how I wanted to go about it. So just make sure that your work is as even as possible when you sew it on, and then like I said, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like once we have our 2 straps completed. Okay guys, so this is what it looks like once we have our straps completed. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on the flowers that we're going to place on the dress. But this is completely optional. You don't have to put on the flowers if you don't want to. So we're going to use a 5mm crochet hook. So using our main color, we're going to start off with a magic circle. And we're going to place 6 single crochets in that circle. And then once we have that completed, we're going to pull the tail to tighten it. But we're not going to join into the first stitch with the main color. We're going to place the hook in there to join through, like if we were going to finish off, but we're not going to pull through the same color. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to go through that first single crochet that we made with our hook, but now I'm going to drop the purple yarn and I'm going to pick up our second color, which is our pink. And then once we pull through our pink, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to place 3 double crochets into that same stitch. Once we have those 3 double crochets in that stitch, we're going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into that same stitch, and that completes 1 petal. Okay guys, so you see we have our 1 petal there. So what we're going to do in the next stitch is we're going to slip stitch and then chain 1 and then place 3 double crochets in that same stitch again, and then we're going to chain 1 and slip stitch again into that same stitch, and we would have completed our second petal. So in the next stitch we're going to slip stitch, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the same space, and then we're going to chain 1 again and slip stitch into the same stitch to complete the petal. And we're going to do this all the way around until we have a total of 6 petals. And then once we have that completed, we would have completed our little flower. And we're going to make a total of 5 of these to sew on to our dress. So I'm going to continue doing that, and then I'm going to show you guys what it looks like once we have all our 5 petals, all our 5 flowers, sorry. And then we're going to sew those onto the dress, and I'm going to show you what it looks like once that is done. So here I'm just making the last petal, and so remember we're going to do the same thing we did throughout. We're going to chain 1 after we slip stitch into that next stitch, and we're going to place our 3 double crochets into the same stitch, and then we're going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into the same space. Once that is completed, I'm going to slip stitch to the first stitch that we made in the beginning, and then we're going to tie off. So just completing that there. So we're making that chain 1, slip stitching into there, and then we're going to slip stitch into that first stitch that we made, and then we're going to tie off our work. And that completes our flower. Remember I told you guys that you're going to make a total of 5 of these, and we're going to sew those onto the dress. So like I told you, I'm going to sew on those 5 flowers onto the dress, and then I'm going to show you guys what it looks like once that is completed. Okay guys, so we're back, and this is what it looks like once we've finished our 5 flowers and attached those onto the dress. And so now what I'm going to do, this is also optional, but I'm going to sew on these pearl beads onto the center of the flowers. So I'm just going to take a sewing needle that can fit through the holes in the beads, and I'm going to use some purple cotton, and I'm going to attach those onto the dress. So just showing you that I'm using thread instead of yarn to sew these on. So I'm just going to sew these onto the center of the dress, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys what it looks like once that is completed. So I'm just going to show you how I do the first one, and you want to sew through the bead as many times as possible to make sure that it is secure onto the dress. We don't want it to come off. So I'm going to sew those on, and then I'm going to show you guys what it looks like once completed. Okay guys, and we're back, and this is what it looks like once completed. Our little dress is just about finished. The only other thing left that we have to do is we're going to sew on our buttons onto the back of the dress to close it. You could probably make some buttonholes if you want, or button loops at the back of the dress if you would like to, but I'm going to use my in between my stitches as the actual buttonholes. But I'm going to use these buttons here. I'm going to use 3 of these and sew these onto the back of the dress, and I'm going to use these in between the stitches as the actual buttonholes and put the buttons through them to close the back of the dress. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to just show you guys what it looks like once finished, and we would have completed our little dress. And ta-da, this is our dress completed. I think it came out really cute. You guys can let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and you can also comment below and let me know what you guys want to see me crochet next. I do have a lot more tutorials coming your way though. Thank you guys so much again for watching my video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share the video with your friend, and also follow me on my social media accounts that are listed in the description box below. Bye guys.